Dimapur Chumugudimar Newland District ILP to implement Kurna Jaise Tulapur Luginabe, civil society organizations, even the Dnsu Bishiba was Otagina Aisha. Arjun to the state government but in that districts the ILP implement Kurna Jaise Tangambi fully support corporate Kura Dikin I will price. Inaga Nishna Naga ILP implement Kurina Jaitaka protect the big breaking news when you will price that Dimapur de settle Kurina Taka non-local action Chunlaga Namase Nirmal Jain Daira fake indigenous certificate local laga nambra tai procure kurigina itu indigenous certificate itu wa tai non locals khan ke tai Dimapur laga alag jaga khan de non locals khan ke mati bigri kure ase kena ekta khulasa kurisha aro even itya tak pit Dimapur Naga Students Union laga knowledge ta agina bi 4 lane de hoile bi jaigina tai mati khan bigri gurina jai sukse tai itu fake indigenous ena kura to khali Nagaland ekla dinugina dai Delhi dak tewi jaigina itu illegal kam to kurigina ahi ase gushe to laga upor legina Dimapur Naga Students Union khamra bi awas uthaigina ahi ase to mamla laga upor especially aro tomorrow June 26th district administration deputy commissioner khan ke tai han jaigina itu mamla laga upor de apprise kurbo ena ko korna chun Nirmal Jain ba fake indigenous certificate tai procure kurigina naga maluna lambra procure kurigina tai non-Naga khan ke mati bigri grasi to fake indigenous certificate chun to tai procure kurna se to seize kurbole gusharo yade Dnsu khan pra ekta janibole dia to chun Nirmal Jain ase tai to bishi boastfully koi se gushi ke tai alag factions khan logo dibi tai china chini ase even to the extent of state government officials can give china chini ase guina tai kuigina bera ase gushi to karne tai chun do indigenous certificate local saga number procure guina se to state government laga knowledge te bi asana nai na state government ke tai pakala banai gina to fake indigenous certificate to luigina tai naga illegally kam krase to laga mamla laga upor de luigina aji Dnsu ko press conference khulasa krase chun Nirmal Jain ba illegally fake indigenous certificate tai to procure kurigina non locals khan ki bigru grase tahan press conference details pa kurigina sai bi ami kan jaigina press conference to aro ki dangor khulasa tahan diule se jaigina details pa huni sawo.
The office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union has convened this press conference to address a matter of serious concern which directly affects the rights and the future of the Nagas, which is the illegal occupation of land by non-locals individuals using fraudulent documents. The office has undertaken internal fact findings and we possess credible and documentation and proof of these unlawful activities. We want to be very clear and please be reminded that we are not against the non-local communities who are doing business here and living peacefully within our state. However, we strongly oppose those individuals who comes in the guise of doing business and earning a livelihood in our state and engage in illegal activities like the illegal occupation of land. One such case involves Mr. Nirmal Jain, who has illegally procured land and illegally procured an indigenous certificate. He claims that he is a genuine citizen, genuine indigenous of Nagaland. However, the proof and evidences which we have in our office speaks otherwise. Subsequently, he has purchased land and engaged in multiple transactions which he is not legally entitled to undertake. The Dnsu has gathered sufficient evidence in this matter and we are bringing this into the public attention not because of biasness or hatred towards anybody but to protect the rights and the land of the Nagas. Let it be known that the office of the Dimapur Naga Students Union will not be taking law into our own hands. We will be officially submitting a letter to the government through the Deputy Commissioner of Dimapur tomorrow and urge the government to initiate a thorough investigation and take proper legal action against the culprit. Furthermore, we also appeal to our politicians, to our bureaucrats, to to our Naga national workers and influential Naga people not to support and not to shield such individuals. Let the law take its own course of action. We do know and understand the level of influence such person has in our state. He is someone who boldly declares that he is closely connected with the politicians, with the bureaucrats, and all these things. But the rights of the indigenous people cannot and should not be compromised under any circumstances. The Office of the Dimapur Naga Union remains committed to safeguarding the interests of the Naga people and will continue to be a voice against any injustice in all forms. That's from my part. I would like to give time to my colleagues and President to highlight in detail.
Oh, thank you, Yes. The gist of the issue regarding today's press conference has been clearly explained by RGS. However, I would also like to add some points. Naga Manukhandu Article 371A protect explicitly protects non-locals from exploiting us. Regarding the ownership of land also, this means that non-locals are legally prohibited from purchasing lands within Nagaland. Any transaction that attempts to bypass or violate these protections, including through proxy ownership or the fraudulent use of indigenous certificates, is illegal, null, and void, and will be challenged. On May 29, Dnsu also gave a press release regarding this. Manu non-locals can be she fraudulent means para inia kurina mati kini gene buhi ase aru itu ekla nohoi na tai khan la bitor de transaction kuri ase aru itia this particular name Nirmal Jain tai illegally fraudulent means para indigenous certificate loi gene ase aru he is one land mafia na line mafia ko tai ini mati laga pata khan bi tai temper kuri gena bikiri kurubo manu non indigenous manu khan ode bikiri kurubo inia kuri gena ahi ase tai tu le tu 2002 de indigenous certificate banai na ase itu bi ma khan GS para coalition we have compelling evidence to show that tai tu le tu hosala non indigenous na hoy tai 1980s de Dimapur de ahala ase kuine ma itu khan khobor pura evidence pura ase man lote aru tai tu le du mohan tai ke office te bi jaine log paise yete bi aise ena hone tai tu le du mo fitani para ko ase moi tu le du dangor manu khan ke jaine ase like under Naga political groups khan ke bi dangor manu khan ke jaine ase government te holi dangor manu khan ke jaine ase kuine imam fitani para bi mohan ke ina bi koise to mohan tu le du we will, like we said, will let the law takes its own course of actions, but the government should take and initiate strict action, investigate kuro lage kuine wahan tu itu government ke mani ase.
The office of the Dimapur Naga Student Union, we have studied, we have thoroughly discussed, we have intensive research, and we found that Nirmal Jain is no other than a land mafia in Dimapur, associated with some high-profile people in Nagaland. And we are also shocked to see that he had already acquired buildings and properties in and around Dimapur in someone names. So, if the government of the day can evict the land engrossment in airport Dimapur, then the government has a right to seize the property of Nirmal Jain under the Article 371A, ownership and transferring of land and its resources, preserving the traditional rights of the Naga people. And the very land of the Nirmal Jain can be used as a public property or for development purpose. Thank you.
regarding this issue, we had a presidential meeting on 21st this month, Saturday, the month presidential meeting has with Sok Kemakisha Mala, Keman constitute units, can be president, can be GS, can be Matina. It will be thoroughly discussed. Aro, we Sok Manubi Quetense. Exun Manubra, Bahala Manu Exun Bra, Charta, Pasta plots, properties in our way. Aro, Dushan be the same follow protection, Mala future generation to key inherit Kuro. Mala future generation la Bachang Garneto, Matido Nathaga. Aro, it will one of the biggest crime must say. Plot law to legally law to then is different. Anyway, fraud documents try to banaying manuke full burigena, and I'm sure from the government officials, so you go to big shots can be involved as it. In a tie, so the tie up in a group. So the Dimapur Now Student Union, we seek we seek the public support also. Kena mane Monikla Prado voice good hailu kam de. Man note 12 tribes ase. Dnsu under Dnsu 12 tribes ase. Sob manu prabi to fight kurone lage. Itu to take na ina wena. We have mana decision to ase. Itu ane man urge kore. Public TV man I just fight to strong Brahman ke support kudi koi na urge kore ase.
The involvement of non-locals in buying and selling tribal land is highly sensitive and often a controversial issue. It typically involves legal, historical and ethical concern, especially with regards to tribal sovereignty, land rights and exploitation. At the end, the government officials should also be questionable as of how these things have turned this ugly. Thank you.
I think last year we also say that we will be doing a verification, especially on ILP. Now, when we talk about verification of ILP, most of the people assume that Non-Naga will just walk out of the street and started, asking ILP inner line permit or pass to random people. But actually, it was not like that. We just said verification in a sense like to some high profile people who are misusing the identity. In fraudulent means like procuring of Indigenous certificate, or maybe they came before prior to 1960 or not. So that we actually meant. So we are doing this verification, fact finding on our part. Then we came to this this Nirmal Jain issue came to the light. On asking around to few non-locals individuals who have procured land, whether they are indigenous or not, almost all of them, non-locals that have purchased land here in Dimapur, is all sold by the Nirmal. Then we went and we also had a talk with him because he's senior, elder. So with respect, we went to his office and we also had a talk. Then we found out itu Nirmal Jain la kahani tu public na jane holi bi high profiles kan kunba khan noile down man khan noile kunba government officials kan mi bureaucrats kan mi Nirmal la itu tala activities ta ki kore tu jan thakino parbo. That I highly doubt it. Tule man ke lok ko jane Nirmal la itu ada bata hodo jane sab man be ekta khato hai aur ita bi Dimapur de mati विकास है ताइतो तो माती कुन विकास है तो निर्मल जन विकास है कोई तो ये तो माती कुन आसे तो निर्मल जन विकास है कोई माती तो निर्मल जन माती आसे कोई आरो ट्रांसैक्शन की खान सब निर्मल जन पर करासे माती तो दाम फिक्स करबो ऊपर सब तो जागने सासिलो तो डॉक्यूमेंट्स तो नागा मानला इना ताकिशे तो ही वाज स्मार्ट ताइतो स्मार्ट आसे honestly तो ताइला लेन माफिया ताकिशे he came Nagaland that early 80s and then taitu Sohalan Shetina couldn't ask local accountant for 2 years and then that's how tara first tai Dimapur hatumde to tai 80s so what he did was tai indigenous certificate kina kena loishe kulitu I will give you the files because media sa flash korbo mahan ita to public domain expose korbo kena kwan ishna mahan ito expose kras itu tala indigenous certificate ase 2002 te apply korina thakise to 2002 te to Nirmal Jain, son of late Balchan Jain, resident of Kalibari village town council in Dimapur district of the state of Nagaland, belongs to Marwari community, and that she Nirmal Jain and his family ordinarily reside in Kalibari village, a town in Dimapur district of the state Nagaland, and his legitimate guardian name has been registered in the electoral roll published on 05/02/1964 electoral roll day, vice serial number 681. Kindly note this: electoral roll 1964 there, serial number 681. Tan voting rights ada saya sapra taki indigenous dish. To ami kan 1964 681 serial number te jai shakule to I will prove tai kina korna tai either tai government officers logo tai link up thaki ni to banaise na tai government ki tai dhokha di kina banaise itu thakibo clear to tai bishi chalak tai he is very clear, he is a very mastermind, everybody knows about him. Down high profile tai jan thakbo tala ki risk ase 681 there Balchan Jain to ami itu dikhilu she, and then I call him first motel office jata hai to ki gobo ami khana just pro commissioner. He's talking about all these high profile people, national workers nambil politician nambil she, and he even said that before I was born he is here in Dimapur, to mohi duplicate naga ta hi original naga dishi, and his attitude, the audacity to say kilo mologa ase government ko dibi government ko dia ase na to the attitude of Nirmal Jain boldly speaking that government ko dibi itu matlab to mokhan ki bolab dot lage ase ki involvement of government bi asni ki tai the way he boldly ko to we were also wondering how can he even blame the government mola mokhan la babne to mokhan itu sadu mo tan verification ground de to tai tala bhai khan bi ase kushe na to tala bhai khan Nirmal Kumar Jain tala nam ase na Balchan Jain la chokra Nirmal Kumar Jain, tala bhai la nam Pradeep Jajari, Dilip Jajari, Ashok Jajari, Aadhaar card, PAN card, sab, and they are all related. Son of Balchan Jain. To Pradeep Jajari la documents khan tibi son of Balchan Jain likhina ase, Ashok Jajari bi to. Aro tala dadu Nirmal Kumar Jain, which Nirmal we are talking about. 681 electoral roll te to itu Balchan Jain to tala babala nam nishna. Example, ami khan nagaman bi hinoto noile hokabi bisha do to itu Balchan Jain family poila thaka to apni khan bi arte nani for electoral te arte mar sabo already documents ita it's okay only anyone is open to write for arte and seek apni khan bi sab parbo to huna to itu Balchan Jain family khan to khandan khan to manipur na kunba jaga te ase kushi to what he did was itu Balchan Jain tala baba no hoy aru itu Balchan Jain to 681 de Balchan Jain thaka to taila bacha khan tu Baurilal Jan Balchan Jain na it's very hard to pronounce actually. Mahavir Prasad Balchan Jain, Kapur Chand Balchan Jain. If you want to note it down, you can note it down again. Very media that is na yeah. So 681 1964 electoral itu Balchan Jain tu Nirmal Jain la baba no. To Nirmal Jain la itu Balchan Jain la chokra which he is claiming to be his father is Pradeep Jajari la baba se, Dilip Jajari baba se, Ashok Jajari baba se, aru taham tin to Nirmal Kumar Jain la bhai kana se to na to kina kono utu Balchan Jain la chokra alag itla chokra alag aru dusa Balchan Jain aru I went through all this 1964 electoral roll to dusa Balchan Jain aru duita ase moi sath ne to itu Balchan Jain nowhere it is related to this Nirmal Jain. To tai itu indigenous to tai procure kina tai mati bi kingena ase mati kingena mati bi pato number 40 dak number 218 under block number 6 Dimapur Moza number 1 so itu tala pata bi itu ase he think he can outsmart us tai documents dishe he is very good in documentation but unfortunately taila itu indigenous certificate pra take durmish to ita tak before lende tai mati bikase tai pra bikase tala mati poila pra asguli documents to tala nai his active involvement in selling of land to his own people and non locals to 1963 para age pra aha man khan na Nagaland boy jayegi na 1963 before the creation of Nagaland state aha man khan to their identities here Non-Nagas indigenous na their identities here tahan murli bitor murbudo so their dream is to get one small land so tai jane to ki non-locals man khan kun yete 1960 age pra aise tahan to yete thakibala se bacha khami tor brota boshe they are not going back to their native homeland so tai it khan ke mati bikaise randomly na tampering of duck number and tampering of cheetah book everything hoigina ase wrong occupation so tai it kan sab manipulate kurna tai bigai gina ase I was told that kunma man ke du indigenous na thaka man ke bi mati bigai gina ase bushi so itu kan mo publicly expose korbo paise kole to now in regard to this itu Nirmal Jain to tai Nagaland tai kina tai first tala kam to tai accountant kota sikuse Sohan Lal Shetty na kunmala jete accountant 2 years nishe nokana tai boi thakena tai itu matila business start hoise matila business start hoigina tai ekbar Delhi TV jaise Delhi TV same thing disputed area khan jaga de tai mati local khan ke huna to weapons bi kinse kuse tato locals gunda khan use korkina tai mati kinga ta paisa bishi kamaise tate bi ta paisa bishi kama to tai Nagaland de khushi mushi kurbo para nishna del deta na pare to law enforcement agency administrative tala piche korasro tai tu ara tai Delhi wapas regna Nagaland te wapas agena he is continuing this act and I was even told that tai kun to local khan use court action Delhi te local gunda khan use court action itu kan pra gun point pra ta ke khitai dishi kushi tai bhar pra agena apni itu to maybe he was into some big matila kunba transaction down kurina thashni ki he earns a lot of money to nang tai debara lengta hoigina Nagaland ta she ate Nagaland pa start kras to mati to poila par tai kinni rakhin tha to tai mati to bit by bit bikase aro I was told tai kunba naga man to tai logo involved thaka man to already tai logo pra bi hati jese guse mati bi ta khan pro loili guse to at one point I'm not trying to be biased here will be kun naga man number mati loigina se naga man loilo bala ki to no honestly I'm saying clear to involvement kiba shi involvement for example I'm kan nagaman ki ite ami akta mon bikha to ini ekta chutu mutu court case kore criminal court case kore makhan tete guarantor bisare to paisa garni guarantor jai gena man ke bail kode man jai court par mati na ho jaye am kan nagaman phas jai to example to nagamai na jan bish baskina se to itu Nirmal Jain to he cannot continue doing this itu ami kan la mati আমি খালা নাগামানলা মাটি তাই কিনা কিনে ফ্রিলি ইউজ কৰিব পৰা আছে তাই কত বই তো ডকুমেন্টস খান বনাব পৰা আছে না আৰু দে ODC to say that আমি কি নকবি গভর্নমেন্ট কবি গভর্নমেন্ট বনাইনে দিছে স্মাইল কৰি কিনে না তো তাই ক অফিস দি মাতিছে we gave him enough time to কি proof করবি কি আপনি খান তো 1960 আগে পড়াছে তা proof করব পারে না কিল তা তুমি মিছা আছে তা fraud তা তেলা বাবা তো 1960 आगे पर आई के ना आसे के कोई के ना आसे भी Baljan Jain 2-3 आसे तो and some of the Baljan Jain came between that year ना तो itu तला बाबा नहा मन खान ला हिस्ट्री कोई के ना मोखनी को आसे तो तला असल बाबा Baljan Jain तो 681 serial number 1964 ते electoral roll ते नहीं तो itu this electoral roll itu electoral आसे all the details here ना तो अपने खान के मैं तो पिछले सॉफ्ट कॉपी अपने खान के WhatsApp ते बताई दो तो इतु तो we are demanding the district administration and government of Nagaland to further investigate in his active involvement into land mafia itu he is very powerful honestly I'm saying mata आते तो आर्मी खान ता खाना समाज की भी माती है तो समाज की माता तो भविष्य की समाज खान भी ताई के किबा की भी talo pote tiba karwai kurboni ki because reputation of the Marwar Samaj biya ho jubuto ruining the reputation because it involvement illegal activities involvement to the entire I was told that he is also one of the respected in their Samaj to matisha aha to Nirmal Jain gusa logo Samaj la leader khanu thikna ta get break kurise which means he is very powerful ekdom powerful and people respect him also indigenous elders come take respect kuna se or he is a he is a habitual offenders tala case bisha ase hali mahan evidence proof naikle mahan mi to kola mon nai hali bi tala offend tai to he is a habitual offenders ara taila adat ase ki any difficulties I should tai to olawa pare so this time also he thinks that he will do it will be pressure to tai uto to dalikine koshish korche hole bi para nai itu to ami khan to jiti itu government of Nagaland edition order kam te nagamala mati khan bi itu korina ase do na jiti am khan la administration khan our government of Nagaland pra itu Nirmal Jain itu land mafia itu fraud ke action law nai koile tu ami khan public khan ke ami khan request korase itu to Nagaman la bhal kam karni korase Nagaman la identity Nagaman la mati la khata ka ase de it kadi to public khan bujwa lage we will continuously exposing such people indigenous kiman loikina Nagaman la mati kingen ase itu ara ami khan request korase ki hoisho Nagaman kun khan ta logo Nirmal logo involve thakise gole tu nole bi Nirmal logo close relationship thakise gole bi inika activities inika man ge tu support nokurbi koi kena politicians hobi bureaucrats hobi national workers hobi itu tu nokurbi koi kena national workers will be the movement of the national workers is to protect the identity and our land our itu mati aram kana pehchan karni ta takhan bi koi kena ase politicians also being a politician they are supposed to protect the Nagas they are not supposed to pave a way to the outsiders to exploit the Nagas itu karni itu bujibi public kan Dnsu kan hoda Dnsu kan ki issue genuine issue chilo public kan hoda support kore this time itu issue bishi sensitive ase we need your support ar itu to action to korbo lage no shiglo to itu man ke action koran to tai to continuous korbo ase aro knowing the fact that Dnsu is after him in this case he is still boldly selling off land somewhere in the foreland aro itu mati bi tala bin hoy ataila ase holi bi documents tala nam pare bin hoy to itu আমি kan government kan ke request korase authority kan request korase karwai jabo lage investigation jabo lage aru itu taila tu tabra 1963 bra aibi naibi tabra goisha dalap tai tu tala baba tu 1964 la prai gina se kushil tu prove korbi na tala baba tu kundi yata kundi jara tha kishe na ekta prove di bo lagi to prove nai to ta khotabra kasu to aru tai prove korshilo ta dusaman balchanjan na nam loi thaku which is not his father ina koni to balchanjan la Indigenous to immediately seize korbo lage itu kan to ami kan later ami kan le DC later dibola ase ami kan largest proclamation commission of Nagaland gibi dibola ase sorry itu indigenous to seize korbo lage aru itu indigenous fake indigenous la nam protai mati loi kina thaka any privileges and benefit have taken through this indigenous should all be seized should all be stopped koi kina ami kan itu koi das actually see ami khan itu first ami khan conditioner ami khan conditioner public expose koro no korish ara khan public expose korish kle public expose korish itu sab an janba lage because the way he talk and the way talks are going around the way he talks are going around he is closely linked with so many high profile it seems na jane ta tak to mohan durana holbi durushe koile no like any government officials chances are there that government officials are also involved in issuing such kind of pata to him na tai mati kiman biga ase itu pata bi tai pra banai dia su to namra Nagaman ase kushbi itu Nagaman ke mati ken kushin ta di ko ata pata na jne to kiman square feet ase total land of square feet ase pata number kun ta ase dak number ke ase na block number kun di jaga ta ase itu bi na jne to condition itu sab officials can be involved kan thakya pare holy bi condition ami kan publicly expose kobo ka to for accountability and transparency as a Dnsu as an NGO pressure group also to the administrative let the public know ki itu action ta ko lo no luti itu bishita ami kan FR korbo na ki kola se district administration ko siklo to khota kola kam nai to evidence are there sida jaigina seize korbo lage to stop korbo lage to itu indigenous certificate to ini ita to indigenous certificate no koi de the government decided to give PRC permanent residence certificate will be pura indigenous tachu to itu kan to sab close korna rakhi bola ke there is no such ki karwai jaishu guli bi itu immediate evidence ase electron 1964 ami kan ita list bi eta ase attachment I will give you tala mati bi eta ase tai mati ami kan ke submit kor itu ekla dishal bi tala number 2 3 bi thakko pare itu to pura olai jabo land revenue officer la office de jaigena tala details sudhikle to tala nam pra mati kiman ase na property kiman ase itibu ulai jabo to itu to government la ase in fact mati loina thai to government na thakishu to encourage kono bhal asu to itu karni itu ami kan publicly domain ulai gena ase itu bishita ami kan letter likhibo to our commissioner of Nagaland through our DC by tomorrow. Aro itu to makan presidential meeting bi kurna se we have been discussing regarding this case for so long with our trouble unit also. Yeah.
On the train station there, how much encroachment is going on, and it is open secret that previous administrators or officials have given out the land pata illegally. That is the issue with the government. So how can you say that the government will be serious about this particular one case also now, if they don't want to show that they have been involved? What is the next step if the government does not take action? Just as how they are not taking action with many other cases where land encroachment or land pata is concerned.
See, we have received complaint about that matter also, including this encroachment of government land, public land, Non-Naga land by individuals. Itu like you said, itu train station lah tu encroachment lah itu kan issue tu at district administration with all the COSOs and especially under Naga Council collectively makan itu issue tu itu Naga Council pura lead korang nak kota kasi. So I think the right person, the right body to give answer is Naga Council, headed by the Naga Council. Obviously we are also into it with the Naga Council. तो हल कौन इशना इधर development कोर्स के लिए तो इधर तो when it comes to itu article 371 there, see I'll tell you article 371.
Forgive me for stopping you there, but what my colleague asked is what will be the next step of the Dnsu if the state government does not take action on this issue?
Or in this issue, no, they will have to. They are supposed to be they are supposed to be a caretaker of the of the safety of the people. I mean, what to say? What do I call it? I forgot. I'm getting nervous now. That's why. Constitution says they are supposed to follow that. No, they are the caretaker, and they are the law enforcement agency. They are the authority, right authority. So it is their duty. They are not above the law. Even if they are authority, they themselves are not above the law.
But
So,
Nirmal Jain seems to be very confident that he's not going to get caught.
whoever is involved with whoever government officials is involved with Nirmal Jain and that is trying to hijack the genuine issues of the Dnsu, of the Nagas, that government officials will also be exposed. They cannot run away from this. They cannot run away from this.
Since अपनी जो government official का मुझे most likely action होगा पासे, तो अपने अपना अपने हम के कोई दिया लगा इंसाफ की इशू ले दो, ताई पता तो इल्लो नागा मानो लगा नंबर बेगिना, है ना ताई पेका इशू, तो जिदी इधु मानो का लगा नंबर बेगिना पेका मानो भी लोकल मानो भी इधु भी accountable होगा लगे, तो इशू ले दो वाला ऊपरे अपने हम expose करूँ ना नुकरो और दो वाला ऊपरे अपने हम कार्रवाई करूँ ना.
Itina said, there are kinds of fraudster. Legally man के fraud कराला, legally man के scam कराला, illegally कराला. तो आमी खान इतु अपनी लोकल आसे, अपनी के जाए कि ना माती तो निर्मल असली माती तो अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स रासे तो अपनी तो कबो तो मना माती आसे कनो कबो तो कोर्ट जाली भी तो डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपने नंबर बनाएंगे ना से. तो in that case आमी खान भी तो we are not the right authority to comment on that. कार्रवाई जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन जाएगी ना इन्वेस्टिगेशन जब से तखन for example local number माती तो लेके ना से निर्मल तो ना तो he has the right to buy land तो ताई तो system तो गुसिंता खिला से तो nobody can do anything with Nirmal Jain ताई तो कौन बिशप बताने आसु तो unfortunately ताला indigenous पर ताई दुर्गे ना एक दिन चुटू दुर्बो का दी तो आसु तो ताई सब मन बिया करके ना से ताई एक तो इन्हें का हराम माना से तो ताई आजी दुख पासे दिल दी भी जगह दुख पासे इधर भी दुख पासे तो क्या असली भी ताई example जीती निर्मल पर documents बनाए से ताई नागा माना से ताला नंबर ताला duck number ठीक नहीं wrong occupation ठीक नहीं तो in that case we can also question that local उला पर भी duck number ठीक था किसे ना पता kan ठीक था किसे कलो तो even if we know that is Nirmal Jain का माती आसु कलो भी तो local मन पर ही हराम ऐसे ताई पर local मन पर ताई क्या support कर से तो मैं ताती क्यों करूँ होली भी मैं कहता हूँ Nirmal Jain ने issue लाते हैं इतु local पर जोर प्राइस कलो तो that will also prove that he is also actively involved with Nirmal Jain. Nan hoy. To itada to kun bi naga man kun bi naga Nirmal Jain ke bacha boli ba hanai ti. Nirmal Jain to koi tai national workers kange jait sab tai na muk bhadur ase. Ami ko to moi bi Amitabh Bachchan ke jane ko to. Moi bi same re ko 2 3 log pochi to photo bi kichu to moi bi. Na moi bi wai patan home minister ke jane to number bi ase moi bi. To moi bi ko paru to. Moi bi im na long number asu to. Srim na long la. Moi bi sir to vetro number asu to. As a social worker we have contact moi bi photo kichu na asu na. Ar moi bi national workers ke ne jane. Khandan khan bi national workers khan de ase. Na to moi bi jane ko to. But these are all misuse time ini misuse ko manipulate kase. Ami jana tak tu hoy government officials kalna involvement hoga par hole bi tai ta government kan bi tai misuse korase. Iti indigenous to moi jana tak to government tak bi najing thakbo di. Najing thakbo. If I am not wrong. Hole bi everybody naga manu hobi dimamre thaka man naga manu hobi plains manu hobi. Everybody knows that Nirmal Jain came in early 80s. Itu sab manu koi hal Nirmal Jain da khani to ala koi. Itu ase.
Apart from all the facts and figures that you have provided, at the end of the day, what matters is this real Nirmal Jain, whom you allege is now in Manipur. The son of
Balchan is the first name.
Balchan.
There is no such evidence of that, but we can go for RTI also. RTI marang itu electoral to situation hana na itu to tala bacha khan ko jai jise. Itu makan rui do par bolbi.
No, what you're alleging is this Nirmal Jain, the so-called Nirmal Jain, is claiming himself to be the son of Balchan Jain. Now, Balchan Jain laga bacha be Nirmal Jain ka thakibo. Thakagani na taido.
No. Asul to Dala babala nam bi Balchan Jain ase. Aru utu malna nam bi Balchan Jain ase.
So, okay.
For example, he's Michael Kat. I am Hinoto. To tala babala nam tu kakiri thakise. Aru mala babala nam bi kakiri thakise.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yes. So I took his father's name and
so now the real sons and daughters of Balchan Jain have you tried contacting them?
No,
we couldn't. Can they come and prove? Because in the court of law, that will be the only admissible fact.
It is like that they fully migrate to Manipur.
Even if they don't come in witness or not, that is not the issue here. Because Nirmal Kumar Jain la bhai to Pradeep Jajar asu to. Aro Dilip Jajar asu to. Ida bahas to takan bi. Ashok Jajar asu to. To Bharwalal Balchan Jain to Nirmal la dada bhi no bhuni bhi no. Mahavir Prasad bhi Balchan Jain bhi Mahavir Prasad Balchan Jain bhi tala dada bhi no bhai bhi no Kapur janmi to itu kan asu to kina no itu tala baba ki claim kora to itu baba to tala chukra khan to alag ase aro Nirmal Jain la bhai kan to alag ase to thik ase Nirmal ki misa kobo tai to haram mane se Pradeep Jajar to tala dada bhi no kina achan bhi ko pare hal bhi Aadhaar card pan card asu to documentation asu to tai tataro dur logo so itu to they don't have to come all the way from Manipur also. Itu ini proof if they need as.
अच्छा तो secondly अभी वाला इन सब तो land mafia कितना operation ना हुआ से और Poland last side वाले भी माटी पिका से तो काय लगा specifically कुंदू area दे काय operate करे और secondly apart from this land mafia अलग खान दे भी involve फंसे गुना itu भी आमिर kan involve करे so तो अलग की दे आरो involve फंसे public domain दे
I am all apni ke koi dish noi mati bishi bikai ke na ase tai na to nagamalla number ta mati bikai ke na ase na to nagamalla to marwari to marwari samajh to supply koling ko than to jabi na mati kiman bikai ke na ase kiman non locals kamra ase kiman non locals 80% Balchan Jain bigal asu to we don't have to tell you na I mean sorry Nirmal Jain bigal asu to na kiman non locals ita mati ke na ase almost all the lands they bought it from Nirmal Jain. So that is the living witness. To ko nishna ami khan act expose korbo kase ami khan jaino khote mati ko to kinshe kole to Nirmal Jain koi to documents ka kole to nagamala nam thake so this is it holi bi tade by chance nagamala par king na thakise aru itu man khan husa par bi indigenous thakise indigenous thakile to kinbo pare that means Balchan Jain is very smart second thing is by chance bra indigenous man 1930 le bi indigenous certificate thakane kole bi itb to thik nai na now the problem is mati iman bigai gena ase indigenous thaka man na thaka man logo kon government officials kan pra land pata banwa ha tumte youtube planes man khan la non locals khan na indigenous certificate manga noi ho that we are also wondering, we are also trying to find out. Nah, second thing is Naga mandu aji kali hi to media khan ulai she nai lai ko pola time to media khan iman kiba thaka nai to accessible thaka nai to so Naga man nijor kuma Naga man to itabe bosti pala jaisu to ta khan to naji to claim am khan non locals kini bigaw na pare ta khan bigaw laibo to samlen ono pola purana man khan to naji ni bigai se pare to bigai dishe najan ke na aru tu nun local ke bigai aru tu nun local bi loi loi she najan ke hoichi bi kinishe gule to revenue officer jai na pata banabo to breakers kan officials kan hodu to ta khan to you are not supposed to buy this ko parbo to am kan chin regulation article 371 and land revenue officer regulation ka se ko parbo to so coin is there is a high chances kunma man system to guskini bi kam kon thakyo paro na ami to ka ase halbi first thing Nirmal ke action lobo lagi we need to stop him tai tu jane ase deni sala pisha guna jana ase mati sab bigai kina naga mala mati sab bigai kina tai pola jabala su do cross processor kina pola jabala su do idu ko thobo we need to stop him
So all the people who have bought land from him, the non-locals, will they be displaced?
we will do fact finding if we find any inequality mo kurungo aru din bi atai khan Jain samaj kan aise Jain samaj kan ahatu Jain samaj kan bi Nirmal pra line ko dishe hona pe holi bi Jain samaj kan Jain samaj kan dishe acha mondir thakise na for example this issue is very important sorry it's related to this issue only okay but it's very important to Naga people should know acha non locals kan indigenous certificate digena mati kinmo pare indigenous certificate nai koile to mati kinmo na pare na noy to non locals organization kan kina ki digena mati kine under which legal terms what documents under which legal terms can the non-Nagas NGOs buy a land it is very important okay at the kun legal terms likhina ase ami kan dango company kan anoile NGOs kan ke bahar man ka kina mati kinbo ni de to we stop them to yete thaka man kan to where I'm saying this is chances kya ase kule to ami kan to example Bengali samaj na Bihari samaj noile Jain samaj Marwari samaj ra number mati 1000 acres of land ni kingena rakhilbu ta kan to kono dhuma man ke lagai dibo ki koro parbo to under which legal term digina ase itu bi man question ko lagi de give did be example nagaman hat pra in terms of crop kin lobo kuma nagaman to paisa kule to pakla jod na to in terms of crop kilbo bi nam pra to give did na mati to give did pra takan gi did to they have money ekbar itu khul dibe na 1 week they pura Nagaland kin lobo ikan to they have money so this is the thing that the government of Nagaland should also itu issue kan itu chances of exploiting us in so many ways itu kan bon kurbo lagi even the non-locals NGOs they cannot buy land stop kurbo lagi makan religious practice ase mandir thakibo lage noile kiba kunma man family kan give di dikena school kan khulle she that's a different thing but apart from that it to stop kurbo lage no they have money and NGOs non-locals NGOs they have money and there is no such legal terms that the outsiders NGOs can buy land na likha nai to at least indigenous thaka man to kimo pare ke na ase for individual non-Nagas indigenous to halbi itu samaj la under the indigenous na thaka man bi kam kora su to ekta organization to human being noy ta kan kun to legal documents digena mati kina ase I mean submit kuri kina NGOs indigenous certificate nai to ta kina na mati kino pare it kan bi stop kodo lage mohan itu bi ta kan ko kina mohan ta bicha apni kan bajens pra Jain samaj kan mati kingen ase gole to apni kan kun indigenous to dibole bi noy organization non living thing na to kina dishe ko shle ini kinsho ko ase to matlab ta kan ini kin le sha ikut ditra thaka na ini bana le sha Ara makan we are thinking to buy more land and bring more development in Dimapur Gazi. Nah, we are thinking to buy more land again, build a school for Naga people Gazi. To build a school for Naga people, we're gonna put Dimapuri enjoy number king in Resle Kotopo. Legal terms say it be somewhat like it too.
Exactly which areas also are there that he has occupied land and selling it off. So so that Alak Manukhan, whoever is buying at this moment, they will be
I
aware
think
it's going to.
by chance, I'm going to specifically just going to be if a person is found to be a genuine, nah, tai genuine thagna tai ke limelight ola bi it I think they can also put up a defamation case against us. So as of now,
No, no.
that as of now to unless we do fact finding process.
Likewise, one more.
See, first of all, let us stick here. American verification is going on. Nah, fact finding I say we cannot just randomly give out. Please understand our position also. They also have their rights. They also have their advocates. There are due legal procedure they are also doing. Now let's stick it to the Nirmal having this fake indigenous certificate. Fraud kurigena, government ke dhokha digena, tai banai gena, tai tu indigenous gena, itu loi gena, mati kiman kinkina se, tala property kiman se itu seize korbo lage, tala indigenous seize korbo lage, in order to stop his other activities also. Are itu indigenous number kiman the benefit, kiman the activities, na ki business korse, kiman beneficiaries tai loi gena se, it stop korbo lage. First let's stick to this, and then for other, if we find anything again we'll call you back and we'll expose it in the public domain.
Last thing, verification drive ILP. Does this mean that the government needs to now really enforce strictly that these are not from way back? They have fake indigenous certificates.
Actually, encroachment of land and issuing of indigenous certificate is a bit different from ILP. Actually, again, that's different thing. ILP is actually it is not called inner line permit. Actually, ILP is supposed to be inner line pass. Or Aisha, they can extend, but they cannot renew again. They have to go back.
Someone like Nirmal Jain has fake documents, so he's going to get
ILP exactly. So poila tahan government of Nagaland ILP nidia karni ILP impose no kara karni to itu Nirmal Jain kan itu hasu to. That is why ILP is needed kwasi makan to na. So as of now administrative kan ILP impose kurishe na. So let us also be as a citizen, as a US and media fraternity, at this juncture, at least government is doing something. So American government के support करले बाल होने की, एक बार fully implement तो करना पड़े, आस्ते face by face. In notice that Arunachal होगी, Mizoram होगी, ना, कुछ होगी, ताकि हम first ILP थकाप में they were hiccup, ना, बाहर पर smooth बदलो पड़ा नहीं. There were so lot of hurdles and loopholes. So sub-district भी sub-state भी ना था कि तो obviously महान government of Nagaland भी इतने impose कराने तो problem तो थकीबो inconvenience तो थकीबो but let us support the government इतो ILP भाल पर impose कराप से offline kan की kan government के allowed कर भी इतो से ही we'll see it what modalities should be there किनाका what type of mechanism to check इतो तो आरो महान we can further proceed on that part. Yeah.